would be a good fit for this on the call. So just send out the last couple messages and we'll get it going. We're live. We are live. I love you guys. Super happy to be here with you all. It's been an amazing day. Finally feel like I'm getting in the groove of things. Going to bed early and getting up early. It's been awesome. It's good to see you, Barbara, Diane, Will, Megan, Miles, Tui. And yes, I am in Cebu, Miles. I love the Philippines. It's such a different culture here. Like Dubai is amazing and, it has a lot of luxury, but it's just something about the Philippines and, the people here are so warm and so kind and it's just a completely different energy and it's not 110 degrees out. So that's an extra. That's a bonus. So yeah, it's awesome. I'm excited. As always, I know I say it literally every time, but it's like this excitement that cannot be topped by anything. And I know you guys are as well. We got a lot of really amazing things in the works right now. So if you've not seen the new video, I'm going to go ahead and play that here in just a moment. It is really amazing. And I'm not just saying that. I'll give you guys the uh, the ability to judge that for yourself. But we have two videos that we already released, which are just like teaser videos to kind of introduce everyone to this ecosystem. And now we have this like cinematic level quality, and it's really good. So I'm gonna go ahead and stream that from my cellular device because for some reason it's not working on my laptop. I'm definitely not a tech wizard, so get that going. And there we go. You guys see my screen? Yes, you do. Okay, awesome. So let's play it.
Witness the dawn of a new era in a world where consciousness and currency converge. Join Don Smith as he guides personal transformation. Introducing AI Polo, your gateway to financial freedom, where spiritual enlightenment meets financial abundance. Join our network and unlock infinite earning potential. Divinfi. Elevate your consciousness. Multiply your currency. Join the revolution today.
Absolutely amazing. What do you guys think about the new video if that was your first time watching that? Yeah, so right now this video needs to be tweaked a tad bit. There's a couple of things that we just want to make sure are tweaked, and then we'll send that out to everybody so you can start to send that out to your prospects and to everyone that you're starting to really introduce this ecosystem to. So it just needs maybe another 24, 48 hours. And then we'll have that for you guys to utilize. So I think is absolutely amazing. What about you guys? Uh, every single time I watch it, I get God bumps. Okay, I used to call them goosebumps. We call them God bumps now. So it's definitely a really amazing tool to pique people's interest. And so at the end there, if this is your first time watching this, I said elevate your consciousness and multiply your currency. And so this system, this ecosystem that we've created, it's composed of two parts. There's the consciousness side of things, and then there's the currency side of things. So I'm going to explain a little bit more. I'm going to share my screen and I'm going to go into tonight's information. And so without further ado, welcome to the biggest launch in history. So I'm really excited because it's really come full circle. I've been an entrepreneur for the last 12 years. If you don't know who I am, my name is Sam Hidjat. I'm actually legally changing my last name, just like Damie did, to Sam Divine. So I'm still working on that. I just haven't gone around to it, but that's in the works. So I'm the chief marketing officer here at Divinfi. And it's really an honor to be here to share this info because I know how much this has personally impacted my life. And I know for all of you watching this that are already part of the ecosystem and all the people that are going to be a part of it in the future, it will shift things for you in a tremendous way. So, what is our vision here at Divinfi? It is to create an ecosystem that brings freedom to all 8 billion people here on Earth. And so when we talk about freedom, what does that mean? It means financial, location, time, and most importantly, the emotional freedom to sustain it all and to really enjoy everything, right? To enjoy the things that you create and to enjoy the process. And so, like I said, I've been an entrepreneur for 12 years. I got my big start in the car exporting business back 12 years ago. I was 18 years of age at the time and I got introduced to someone that was in the car exporting business. So, um, you know, I say this a lot. It's not about what you know. It's not the information that you know. It's not the books that you read, but it's actually who you know, the connections you make. And you're probably watching this video or watching this stream because you knew somebody that introduced you to this information. So it's all about connection. And so 12 years ago, I got introduced to some people and they showed me the ropes. They showed me how to get into the car exporting business. And so I'd buy cars all over the States, and some parts of Canada, and then I would ship them out to buyers in Dubai, in Saudi Arabia, in Cambodia, in the Dominican Republic, all over the world. And, I thought it was where I wanted to be and where I would end up full time. But that kind of shifted really quick because there was a lot of competition. And I mean, but while I was in it, it was pretty good. I made my first six figures in that industry as an 18-year-old kid over 10 years ago, which I mean was pretty decent money at that time. Now six figures, you're barely getting by, right? Due to inflation and all these things, which we'll talk about later. And I thought that was what I needed and what I wanted, because I never really had big dreams of being a lawyer, right? Or being a doctor or an astronaut, which I actually just watched this movie called Take Me to the Moon in theaters just a little bit ago. And like those kids that always want to be an astronaut. That was never me. Um, and so I just wanted to be free, which maybe a lot of you can relate with that. Like, I just wanted to be free, and I didn't really know what that meant. I knew that money was a part of it, but I didn't realize the totality of what that actually looked like, what that felt like, right? And so I realized that I wasn't free because I was working 80 hours a week in that industry. I was having to drive all over. There was times where I remember literally almost dying, right, on the road because I was so tired from driving. And so my health also was getting, it was it was being destroyed. I was literally living off of cigarettes and Red Bull at the time. And so I got introduced to a gentleman a couple of years later. He was like maybe 2 or 3 years older than me. And he lived that like movie lifestyle, which I thought was also the answer. And at the time, it was part of my process. And he was flying on private jets. He had three supercars. He was just traveling all these different countries, making money online. And so he showed me the ropes and he got me introduced to the industry of network marketing, which led me to other industries like e-commerce and direct sales and coaching and real estate and so on and so on and so on. And so in the last 12 years, I've been able to earn and generate millions and millions of dollars for myself. And I've helped lots of people, dozens and dozens of people, earn a six-figure income and above. And so I got, the financial freedom, I had the location freedom, the time freedom, and it was great. But then I realized that that wasn't everything. That wasn't the whole pie. There was still something missing. Okay, there was still something missing that I was still looking for. And so it became apparent to me in the second half of 2023, right? So June 2023, I was married, and we decided to go and travel all over Asia, East Asia. We went to Japan and all of Southeast Asia, like Thailand, Malaysia, Indonesia, whatever, all of Southeast Asia. And so it was interesting because I barely worked maybe 5 or 6 hours a day, or I'm sorry, 5 or 6 hours the whole time I was traveling, and things seemed great, but I was under a lot of stress, and I started to wake up and realize that this wasn't it, because I was experiencing major anxiety, depression, panic attacks, and it got so bad, right? Those panic attacks got so bad where I was waking up and I couldn't breathe, and I was in so much misery. Like, I mean, just imagine having the ability to travel anywhere and do whatever you wanted and still living in your own self-created hell. That's what was happening to me. And it got really bad where I literally thought about taking my own life. Where I had these suicidal thoughts, where I remember one time I was on the 48th floor of the house that I was renting in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia, and I thought, like, hey, like, what's it like, why am I even doing this? Like, it's not even worth it. Like, I'd rather just end it, right? And so as humans, we're usually motivated by two things. It's either inspiration for a better life, or to inspire to do something great, or desperation, where you're so desperate for change that you're willing to do anything. And so I was desperate. Things, people saw me on social media. I'm living this awesome lifestyle and blah, 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 like semi-retired at 30. But I was really desperate, and I backed myself into a wall energetically, so I could basically try to figure it out. And it only got worse from there. I actually ended up going through a divorce. I walked away from a woman that I was married to for 4 years, which is definitely hard. And then I actually ended up landing myself in jail in Bali, Indonesia for substance abuse, because not only was I, experiencing all these things, I was also utilizing substances. I was addicted to marijuana for over 12 years, smoked it every day. Might have been a couple of days here or there, or maybe like short periods of time where I didn't, but for the most majority of the part, I was smoking it every single day for over a decade. And I ended up landing myself in jail in Bali, which was absolutely horrible, right? It's like I wouldn't even wish it on my worst of enemies. And I don't have enemies, but if I did, I would literally wouldn't wish it on them. It was that bad. And I ended up going there for 6 days, went to rehab for 17 days, and they coerced me to basically pay them 50,000 US dollars to get out of jail. And, you know, I have my friend Megan. She was actually one of the people that I was communicating with while I was in there. So she knows. She knows for a fact that she saw what was happening. I mean, I lost maybe 30, 40 pounds in that time. I was absolutely not in a good place. I mean, there was you know, um 10 days where I literally did not sleep even a single second. It was horrible. But after getting out, my buddy Jamie, who's the CEO of this ecosystem, he's like, "Hey, you need to come to the Philippines and you need to meet my mentor Don." And so Don is the OG when it comes to transformation. And he's been creating this transformational program over the last 44 years. And he's worked with some of the most elite people in the world. I'm talking 8 billionaires. He's worked with the guys that created the BlackBerry phone. He's worked with athletes at an Olympic level in 15 different sports. He's worked with cancer patients, helping them reverse whatever illnesses and stuff that they were going through. And this is not like you know, just take that with a grain of salt. He's not doing anything, he's just helping them, because whatever you're creating in your life, if you can create it, you can also uncreate it. Okay. So just take that with a grain of salt. And so I met with Don, which I met him on Zoom over a year before that, but I met him in person and we worked together. And it was the most profound thing that I had ever done. And I wasn't new to personal development. I had been doing it for many, many years. I read thousands of books, listened to audio tapes. I did the seminars and workshops. I did transformational workshops and energy work and breath work and coaching. I even got certified by the late Bob Proctor in one of his programs he created. So the thing was is that all of that stuff was working on an intellectual level. And what Don does is he works on a neurocellular level, meaning it's actually at the cellular level of your entire being. And I'm not going to go so deep into it, but basically, Don helps you go to the very first moment in time where you created this pattern from a trauma, right? Because your subconscious mind is wide open and is programming your being anytime before the age of 7 all the way to whenever you were in the womb of your mother. So from 0 to 7, everything you experience becomes a subconscious program. So what Don does is he takes you to the very first moment where you had this quote unquote trauma. And it doesn't necessarily have to be something crazy. It doesn't need to be you getting beat up or sexually abused or whatever. It can simply just be you falling off your bike or you hearing your mom and dad scream at each other in the other room. Okay, so he helps you go to the very first moment, release it, and that one moment is connected to every other moment that you've ever had, every other traumatic moment that you've ever had in your life, because we are creators of our life. Everything that we're experiencing on the inside actually affects our outside world. This is actually a universal law, just like the law of gravity, right? Like, for example, this is an eye mask. I don't know if you guys can see this, but the law of gravity, no matter how much we want to believe that it doesn't affect us, if I drop this, it's going to fall down every single time. It is a law. And so there are universal laws. One of them is called the law of correspondence. And so what the law of correspondence says is that as within, so without, as above, so below. So every single thing that you are experiencing on your inner world is affecting your outer world, even if you're not conscious of it. And so I know for a fact that I created landing myself in jail because I actually told myself I wanted to stop smoking. And literally the next day, I'm in a jail where I'm forced to look at my inner world. And so I'm going to share a little bit more insight so it really makes sense to you what happens. But there's this chart. It's called the chart of consciousness. And it was created by a guy named Dr. David Robert Hawkins. And he wrote a book called Power versus Force. And in this book, what Dr. Hawkins says is that the emotions that we experience are all on a scale. Now, the scale goes from 0 to 1,000. 0 to 1,000. So shame is at 20, fear is at 100, courage is 200, joy is 540. And at the top right here, 700 to 1,000 is what we call enlightenment. And then there's all the different emotions in between. Okay, so for reference, so you guys can kind of see level 50, which is apathy, this is where Hitler was. And we know what he did. And the reason why he did the things that he did was simply because of the level of consciousness that he was on. As you can see, the description of apathy is despair and hopelessness. And that's exactly what the people that he, tortured, that's what they were feeling. He was projecting his inner world onto them. And so all of the different masters, the great teachers, whether it's Moses, Buddha, Muhammad, Jesus, Zoroaster, all of these great teachers, they were at a level 1,000. Okay, so what they knew and what they were preaching and trying to teach us was that there was really no difference between us and them, that all of us, whether you're on this call right now live or if you're watching this later, your natural state is one of enlightenment. And all enlightenment is your true state, the true you. That's why they say authenticity has a higher vibration than, for example, love. That's because authenticity is enlightenment. That is who you truly are. Okay, so what happens is whenever you have this very first trauma, you start to create self-sabotaging programs. You start to play as a victim. You have this poverty, toxic pattern. And so most people on Earth today, they're actually under this level 210. Actually, 80% of the world is under 210. And I would say most people are actually under or at fear at 100. They're in fear constantly, fear of failure, fear of success, fear of their partner leaving, fear of losing their job, fear of death, which is interesting because if you really know the truth, your body is not who you are. It is simply just a vehicle, simple, just like you getting into your car. You don't think, oh, I am the car. You just know that you drive the car. So this vehicle, which is our body, is just what we use. Who we truly are is the consciousness behind it. And so we're eternal. Okay. And so what happens in this process is Dawn helps you go to the very first moment, which is an energetic anchor holding you back in these lower levels of consciousness, and he helps you get you to your natural state. So for what I want you to imagine is being at the bottom of the ocean. Okay, you're at the bottom of the ocean and you have an anchor tied to you, and you're trying your best and your hardest. You're doing all of the things to go and try to get to the top. But every time you go 20% or 30%, the anchor drags you back down to these lower levels. So what Don does is he helps you figure out how to remove the energetic anchor holding you back from experiencing your true natural state. Okay, so you stop playing small and you start to step into your infinite God energy. And it is just one of those things that I cannot use words for. It's something that you have to actually experience for yourself. And so Dawn actually does this process every Tuesday and every single Thursday. So you can start to experience it for yourself and you can feel what I feel, what all of the leaders that have gone through this process themselves, what they feel. And it's just natural. It's not anything that you have to force. And so Tuesdays are for new clients, and then Thursdays are for people that have already gone through the program. You get another chance to do it again. I've had to do it multiple times because the biggest key when it comes to this transformation is the act of surrender, surrendering to what you think you know. Because if you take a look here, reason is at a 400. It'll top out at 499. Once you hit love, that's a 500. Love and above cannot use the intellect. You cannot use the mind to get to these higher levels of consciousness. So you have to bypass the mind. And so it takes a level of surrender, especially when everything that you've created in your life, you use the mind, which that was me. I did all the personal development, all these things. So my biggest thing was learning how to surrender to this whole process and to the divine. So make sure that you make this a priority. Every single leader that's actually having amazing results are the ones that have done Dawn's transformation. So we have a whole currency side of things. This is the consciousness side of things, which goes hand in hand because, money isn't the end all be all. And I'll give you one last example to really tie it all together. And so one of Dawn's clients paid him $1 million. Okay, this guy was a billionaire. His name was Tim, and this guy was going through his own self-created hell. Okay, he was overweight. He was addicted to several substances and just basically everything under the sun. He was addicted to drugs, alcohol, sex, gambling, and food. He had all the addictions. He had them all. He had massive anxiety so bad that he could not get on his private jet. He was also going through a divorce. So Tim hires Don. He pays him $1 million to do this 2-hour session. Within the 2-hour session, Don helps him get rid of everything he was experiencing. No more addictions to this day. his divorce is no longer on the table, and he's living at the highest levels. So the money without the consciousness is really bad. But the opposite is also true. Having this high level of consciousness without any money, you can't really affect the world. So what we did is we put them together, the consciousness and the currency. So we're going to help you elevate your consciousness, and then we have tools to help you multiply your currency. So let's talk about it. So in the video I showed you at the very beginning, it talks about how people trust AI so much that they're willing to take their hands off of the steering wheel of their Tesla and let it drive for them. It takes them to and from work, to the grocery store and back, right? They trust it so much that they take their hands off of the steering wheel. So now's the time for you to trust AI to help you grow your bank account. And you can do that now with our AI called Apollo. And so Apollo is a crypto AI, trades crypto futures. Doesn't matter. For all you care, it could be trading soybeans, it could be trading whatever, right? So it doesn't matter, but it's doing 20 to 50% per month, and it's completely hands-free. The way that it works is it actually APIs into your crypto wallet, which just simply means it's a connection into your wallet, and it has the ability to see the funds in your account. It has the ability to trade the funds, but it cannot withdraw the funds. You have complete control from day one, which is absolutely awesome. The developer that created this AI, we met him in Dubai. We had a booth there at the Crypto Expo, and we met him. He had been developing it since 2017. He showed us the results. He showed us what he was, the results since 2017, and he showed us really everything. So we're like, okay, this is awesome. But the minimum to use the AI at the time was 100,000 US dollars. So we're like, hey, we want to use it, but we want to also open it up to our community. So he said, okay, well, I'll lower it from 100,000 to 10,000. We were like, that's still not low enough. And so he agreed to do $1,000 minimum with a 50-50 split. So let's say you start with the minimum, which is $1,000. If it does 20% growth on that thousand, that's $200 profit in that month. You would get $100, and then the developer would get $100 because it's a 50-50 split. Let's say you had $1,000 and then it was a 50% profit. You would get 250, he would get 250. And this is not to say that it's always going to do 20 to 50%. This is just the range that we've seen. Can it do lower than 20%? Sure. Okay. Anyone that's guaranteeing you money it's an absolute scam. Okay. Can it do more than 50%? Yes, it can. And actually has this month. It did 51% this month. And so we've also seen 70%, 80% in the results that we've seen over the last few years. So it's pretty awesome. So let me show you the power of compounding and how you can utilize Apollo to compound your money. And what I want you to think about it as is almost like a savings account on steroids. And so to tie this all together, this guy, Albert Einstein, he says compound interest is the eighth wonder of the world. He who understands it earns it, and he who doesn't pays it. So this is the power of compounding. I'm going to show you right now. We have this compounding calculator, which will give you a visual on what that would look like for you. 1 second. Make sure I got this up. Okay. If you can see my screen, give me a 111. You guys can see my screen? Awesome. Great. Thank you, Tui. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Awesome, Leela, Diane. Okay, great. So let me show you what it would look like if you did the minimum, which is $1,000. And let's say you did 10% a month. 10% a month. And let's say you compounded it for 5 years. And the reason why I'm asking you to think about this as a compounding vehicle is because right now, you having your money in your bank account is probably the very worst thing that you could be doing today. because there's hyperinflation happening, right? Like the US dollar is losing about 1% every single month, which is 12% a year. Just by having your money sit there in your account, you're losing 12% on your money. So the worst investment is literally having your money do nothing, right? It's like what we've been told is a complete lie. Like, oh, you need to save your money, save, save, save. No, you're literally losing value just having it sit there. And it doesn't matter if you're in Singapore, doesn't matter if you're in the Philippines or Mexico or in Europe or in wherever in Brazil. It's all happening because it's all pegged to the US dollar. The US dollar is the currency that every single currency is pegged to. So I'm sure you guys are seeing it today where you go to the grocery store, you're spending money, you're trying to buy groceries, and you're not able to. It's actually you're able to only you're buying able to buy less than you used to a year ago. So I'm gonna show you a way to compound your money. So if you were to do $1,000 initial balance, initial deposit, it would take you 8 months to 2x your investment. So from 1,000 to 2,000, it would take you 8 months. Okay. Now, after 5 years, if you were to just compound it, meaning you just kept allowing it to compound over and over again, right? So if let's say you had $1,000 and in month one you did 10%, so that you would have what, $1,100. $1,100 month two. Then you would let that 10% compound on the 1,100. Then you would have like what, 1,210. Not that good at math, but I think that's what it maths up to. So you keep letting that happen. After 5 years, you had to have $304,481.64. And that's not to say that you can't pull out the money. You can pull out the money at any time you need to use it or whatever. You have full control. But this is how I would think about it. I would think about it as a compounding vehicle on steroids. And so I'm not even saying that you have to use hours. What I am saying is find something. Find something that allows you to compound your money, because you just having your money sit there, you're literally losing value of your money. So just have something that's at least doing 1%. And we're talking about 10% a month rather than only 1%. So let's get into the next slide. And it's talking about being an entrepreneur and an investor. Okay, so there's this guy named Robert Kiyosaki. He wrote a couple of books. He's like the guru when it comes to finance and whatnot. The first book was Rich Dad Poor Dad. The second book is called The Cash Flow Quadrant. And the third book was called The Business of the 21st Century. So absolutely amazing books. Recommend you all to read them. But in the cash flow quadrant, he talks about there's 4 ways that you can earn an income. So the first way is being an employee. So if you're an employee, you have a job. You trade your time for money. So let's say you work 8 hours, you get paid for 8 hours. Very simple. Okay, so let's say you work at a smoothie shop. One day you have the bright idea that you're like, I don't want to work for this guy anymore. I want to open up my own smoothie shop. Okay, so you go from being an employee to becoming self-employed. Now you don't have a job anymore, but you actually own a job, because this left side of the quadrant, you only get paid off of your time and your efforts. There's no leverage. So you can't just go and take 4 or 5 months off and just go travel, because your business is reliant on you. You're actually the lifeblood of the business. If you're not there, even if you have 3, 4, 5 employees or whatever, you don't have enough leverage to just leave. Your business will literally fall apart by you doing that. So the goal, if you want to be financially free, is to shift from the left side of the quadrant to the right side of the quadrant. Okay, so as a business owner, you have, and you get paid off of something called leverage. So I'll give you 2 examples to kind of clarify. So we all know McDonald's, right? McDonald's is a franchise, and they have, I don't know how many locations. I'm sure thousands, tens of thousands all over the world. And so the guy that bought McDonald's from the McDonald's brothers, his name was Ray Kroc. And so what he said is that we don't make money off of burgers and fries. We actually make money off of real estate. Because if you wanted to open up a McDonald's today, it would cost you $1.2 million for the franchise fees. But what do you get? You get a whole system. You basically have a guarantee of cash flowing because everybody knows McDonald's and they have a system. And what system stands for, it's an acronym that stands for save yourself some time, energy, money. And they have a system on everything, on how to get the fries golden brown, on how to get the patties the perfect way, how to make a Big Mac, how to mop the floor. And that's why you see 16, 17-year-old kids literally able to run the entire business. And so as an owner, you just invest into it. You hire the staff, you take care of all the overhead and all that. And then your business is literally on autopilot. So they're leveraging systems. One more example, Elon Musk, let's say he has 10,000 employees and they all work 8 hours a day for him. Okay, so he's not only relying on his own time, he's actually leveraging other people's time and efforts. So if you multiply 10,000 employees times 8 hours in the day, he's leveraging 80,000 man hours. 80,000 man hours. Okay, so that's why he has leverage. And so I'm going to show you a way in this model on how you can actually leverage other people's time and efforts, and you can start to earn income at all times of the day. Imagine being and flying on taking a flight or going to the gym or doing your favorite stuff with your family and still being able to get paid. So that's what this will show you on how you don't have to trade your time and money for time and energy for money. You can earn money at all times of the day, no matter where you are or what you're doing. Now, the last quadrant is the investor quadrant. And so you're not leveraging other people's time and efforts. You're not leveraging a system. What you're leveraging is your money. So with Apollo, you can now become an investor with $1,000 US, where back in the day, if you wanted to invest in the stock market, it would be $1 million plus. You know, one of my mentors, he's from Singapore and he runs a hedge fund that has billions and billions of dollars. I asked him to teach me. He said, minimum, you need $100,000 that you're willing to lose. But now with technology and more importantly, connections, because you wouldn't be able to get access to this amazing AI without knowing someone, you can become an investor for literally $1,000 US minimum. And if you don't have that, I'm going to show you a way for you to earn it. And so now you can get paid off of the system and also get paid off of our amazing technology. So moving forward, if you want to use Don's process, the conscious side of things, and if you want to earn income off of Apollo, the currency side of things, it's a one-time fee of $149, meaning the first month is $149, and every month after that is $99 for our membership. So it's called the Freedom Pack because this is how you get freedom in every sense of the word, whether on the conscious side of things or the currency side of things. And so when you get results with our products, you're going to want to share them with people. And when you refer 3 people to the system, you get your membership completely free. So refer 3 and yours is free. So I'm going to talk about our partnership program, which allows you to create some connections and actually create a business all over the world and create residual income. So our model is in the network marketing industry. So you may or may not have heard about network marketing. It's one of the largest industries in the world. It actually generates over $200 billion a year. Okay, so this industry, what it does and what it replaces is instead of spending millions and millions of dollars on TV commercials and advertisements and billboards and all the old ways of doing marketing, what we do is we pay up to 80% of our profits to people like you and I to share this with other people using word of mouth. Okay, so this allows you to earn infinite income. You can get paid anywhere from $100 a month all the way up to $4 million every single month. And then different incomes in between. Second thing is there's a weekly residual income. So you can actually earn residual income. If you've not experienced or if you don't know what residual income is, it's one of the most profound things that you'll ever experience in your life. I've actually been living off of it for 8 years. And it's like I will never work a job ever again because it's like once you get a taste, you're hooked for life. Like I said, imagine being on the beach, imagine, doing whatever you want to do and still earning income, right? And so I'll give you an example. I have a business in the real estate industry, and so like literally yesterday, I think we got paid 3, 4 times in one day, right? Instead of having to wait, what, 1 month or 2 weeks to get paid. We get paid literally multiple times a day. We did the work one time and we get paid over and over and over again without having to put any extra effort. So I'll give you a clear example of how that could work. And I would suggest maybe even once you're at a place where you feel comfortable, diversifying your portfolio. But in real estate, what you could do, you can leverage the bank's money, get it $250,000 and buy a piece of real estate, buy a home. Okay. And then your mortgage would be $1,500 a month. And then you find a tenant, someone to purchase or to rent out your home for $2,000. So they're renting it for $2,000, your mortgage is $1,500. You're making $500 every single time they pay the rent. So that is a form of residual income. But I'm going to show you a much easier, much simpler way to create residual income with nowhere near as much overhead. The third point here is that there are no qualifications or experiences needed. Does not matter what your past was. You don't have to have the most fancy looking resume. You didn't have to go to the best schools. You could have dropped out of high school or college. I didn't even finish college. I dropped out my second year. You didn't have to go to Yale. And you could have been like me and went to jail. Okay, it does not matter. Every single person has the same opportunities in life. And especially in this system, really the only couple of things that I think that you really, really need is to be coachable, be willing to take to be coachable to someone that has the results that you want. And then number two is having an open mind to apply the things that you learn, right? So the last thing is that there are team building incentives. So you're in business for yourself here, but you're not in business by yourself. You have a whole community, a whole system that's here to help you get wherever you want to go. So let's get into the pay plan and how you can actually earn some residual income. Okay. If you want to earn some residual income, I want you to imagine doing the thing that you truly love doing. Okay. Take a moment and just think about if money and time weren't an issue, what would you be doing? Would you be with your family? Would you be traveling to different countries? Would you be pursuing your passion? What would you be doing? Okay. For me, I mean, I've, I've been in 25 different countries, been able to meet amazing people from all walks of life, just experience life on a whole different level. And I wouldn't have been able to do that if I didn't take a chance on myself. And so I want you to think about what is it that is it retiring your family, your parents, your mom and your dad? What is it? Is it doing philanthropy and creating nonprofit organizations? Like Tui shared with me, he really wants to help his home countries of Fiji and Tonga. I feel very similar where I want to help people from all around the world. But to affect the world in a positive place, number one, you have to have the consciousness. Number two, you need the money. You need to be able to affect people. And it's just a tool, right? Money is not evil. Money is neutral. Whatever, however you show up, whatever's on the inside, it just gets amplified whenever you get money. So I know it's kind of something that we kind of shy away from, but it's important. Okay, so I'm going to show you our compensation plan. There's a couple of things that you have to understand. There's some qualifications. So there's a rank name, which would be like your corporate role. There's a network size, which is the network that you create. And it doesn't matter what business you're building. If you ask any business owner, whether it's your family doctor or whether it's a health coach, they're building a network of clients. They all get paid off of creating a network of clients. Let's say your family doctor has 100 patients. They see him every 2 to 3 months. He gets paid off of creating a network. That's the same thing for the fitness guy, right? He's making these meal plans. He has like 100 clients. He gets paid off of creating a network of clients. Okay, now number 3, which is the last qualification, is the personal referrals. These are the people that you personally refer into the business. The people that you personally refer. Now, there's 3 ways you get paid. 3 initial ways you get paid. There's a 4th bonus, which I'll talk about later. The first way is called the weekly payout, and this is paid out every single week. It's actually going to start it's actually going to start Monday. Tomorrow will be the very first start of whenever we start the new pay schedule. So I'll talk about it, but the deadline is 11:59, and whatever you've done for the week on before 11:59 gets paid out on the following Monday. So you don't have to wait till Friday to get paid out. The second way is the one-time rank bonus. So this is a bonus that gets paid out when you hit the rank, and it's paid out at the end of the month. And then there's the direct bonus, which is paid out as well with the weekly payout. So it's usually $50 per direct, per personal referral that you refer to the system. But until pre-launch is over, we're doubling it up for you. So this is a promotion. It's not going to last. Once we finish with the pre-launch, it'll go back to the original 50, but for the time being, you're getting $100 per direct referral. Okay, awesome. So if you want to hit the rank of inviter, you need a total network of 2 on your left and 1 on your right. So that's 3 total. Out of these 3 total, you need 1 on your left team, 1 on your right team. That's 2. Let's say it's your mom and your dad, and then your dad goes out and he refers his brother. Now you have 3 total. You brought 2 in. You're getting paid $25 a week, which is $100 a month. And so let's say you did this in your first month, which, I mean, people are literally doing this within 2-3 days. Like, shout out to Moses. He just hit inviter. We got we have so many people now that are hitting these ranks. I'm forgetting all of who did it, but I know Miles hit it. Congratulations, Miles. Vanessa hit inviter. And then we have plenty of people hitting these other ranks, which I'll shout out here in just a minute. So let's say you hit it in your first month, which is, I mean, that's pretty easy. You're getting paid $100 because 25 times 4, that's 100. And then you're getting paid $100 per referral. So that's $100 for your mom, $100 for your dad. That's 300 total. Okay, awesome. Now, next rank is connector 200. So you need 4 on your left team, 4 on your right team. Out of these 8, you only needed those 2, which is your mom and your dad. And you're getting paid $50 a week, which is $200 a month. And then you get a one-time bonus of $200 one time. So how you get to connector 200 is by focusing and duplicating yourself to your team. So let's say you have your mom and your dad. You're going to help them hit inviter. Now, when you help them get into inviter, you're a connector 200. And shout out to Mr. Chris out of Vancouver. He smashed connector 200. He's on his way to connector 500. Suzanne, Seppi, and several others. I'm sorry if I don't shout you out. Forgive me. You can drop it in the chat below if you hit connector 200. Happy to give you a shout out. And so it really is just duplicating your efforts and helping your team do what you did, right? And so Zig Ziglar says this best. Zig Ziglar is one of these personal development gurus back in the day. He says, if you help enough people get what they want, you'll get everything that you want. So the whole premise of this entire system is helping one another, creating connections. And if you help enough people do that, you'll be able to get to wherever it is that you want. So connector 500 is 10 on the left, 10 on the right. Out of these 20, you're still only bringing 2. Okay, you actually only need 2 directly until this 4th rank. So 10 on the left, 10 on the right, 2 come from you, 125 a week, which is $500 a month. And then you get a one-time bonus of $500. Shout out to our first connector 500, Mr. Tui from Australia. So he's the first person to do it in Australia. He's leading the way. He's helping a lot of people. And no wonder you're crushing these ranks, bro. It really is just focusing on this one rank, right? Rome was built one brick at a time. You don't need to go all the way down here, the last rank where you're earning $4 million a month. All you got to do is focus on Inviter and help everyone hit this rank, and then you'll start to run through the ranks. Connection 900, it's 20 on the left, 20 on the right. Still only need those two. You're getting paid $225 a week, which is $900 a month, which is absolutely awesome. And just to kind of clarify a couple of things, remember I told you that it would take you $250,000 to create $500 a month through real estate. So here at Connector 500, you're already doing the same, right? And if you also wanted to get into Apollo and you didn't have the money, well, guess what? $500 a month plus that first bonus of $500, you have $1,000. You can take that money and you can now put it into Apollo, and you're getting paid residual income off of the plan and then passive income off of the AI. So it's awesome. Yeah, so same thing, connection 900, connector 1500, networker 3K, networker 5K, so on and so forth. It really is duplicating yourself. The only difference between 1500 and 900 is that you now need two on your left, two on your right. And so it really is, it would be like your mom, your dad, and then you brought in your brother, your sister. You have four total that you referred. And then that grew to 40 on your left, 40 on your right. You're getting paid $375 a week, which is $1,500 a month. And then you get a one-time bonus of $1,500. Awesome. So you can go part-time earning $500 a month. You can go full-time earning $9,000 a month. And you can go big time where you're earning 25, 50, $100,000 a month and beyond. So it really is up to you and how much you want to earn. And really the name of the game is helping people, supporting people in their process, and you'll get wherever you want to go. And you have a whole system that's here to help you with that. We do these calls twice a day. And I'll be frank, I don't need to do these calls. I mean, my other business is paying me well. Like I could just go and travel and do whatever I want. But I do these because I truly am here for the mission and I want to see us succeed, right? Like I want to help humanity raise their consciousness. And so this is a way that we reward people for being on the mission. And I'm here all in because I support you guys and I believe in this mission and I know where we're headed. And so I want to see everybody succeed. And so you just have to leverage the system. Okay. And I'll give you a clear example. I had a friend, her name was Tiffany, back in the day, 8 years ago. We built a company together. It was nowhere near as amazing as this. The products were nowhere near as good. It was actually just blueberry juice in a glass bottle. It's interesting. And it was like $650 after taxes and stuff. And so she got started with us, but she told me she was an introvert. She didn't like talk to people like that. She had friends, but she wasn't like that loud, you know what I mean? Or didn't talk a lot. And so she's like, Sam, I don't know if I can do what you're doing. I can do the presentations. I said, look, you don't have to do it. All you have to do is invite people to view the information, it's the invitation to the presentation. That's all you have to do. It's making connections. It's really as simple as that, making connections, and you can go wherever you want to go. And so she did exactly that. She started to invite to the Starbucks meetings. She started to invite to the Zoom calls, which Zoom wasn't even that big of a deal back then. So we were doing mostly in-person events, which is much harder. So long story short, Tiffany went from earning $2,000 as a waitress per month to earning over $15,000 every single month. She also got her mom into the program. Her mom went from working at a warehouse to earning over $10,000 a month. Her uncle was working at Chase Bank, barely came from Vietnam a couple of months before that. And he was also earning over $10,000 every single month. So if they can do it, then every single person watching this can do it. Okay. It's just a matter of following the system and duplicating your efforts. So There's one more bonus I'll talk about. It starts at speaker 25K and beyond, and it's called the global pool bonus. So what we do is we take 1% of all the global sales in the company and we put them into a pool, and then it's split amongst the number of shares that there are. So let's say there's 10 shares and there's $1 million in the pool. So 10 divided by 1 million is 100,000 per share. So if you're a speaker 25K and you get one share, you would get an extra $100,000 a month on top of the $25,000 you're making already. Okay, now there's a second time you get another share. It's at match 750K and beyond. And so you get two shares instead of one. So you would get 100,000 times two. You get an extra 200,000 on top of the 750,000 you're already generating. Okay, absolutely awesome. So we are in pre-launch currently. And so what that means is this is at a ground floor opportunity. You know, if you went ahead and bought every single iPhone since they came out, you would have about $20,000. If you took that 20,000 and you went to the very first moment in time when Apple launched their IPO and you could buy stocks, you would literally have over $200 million today. And so what is that saying is that business is all about timing, being at the right place at the right time with the right people puts you at an advantage. And so here in Divinfi, you have that same opportunity as you would have if you were at the very beginning of Apple. Okay, so Divinfi is more than just a financial system. It's a movement towards financial freedom and personal empowerment. If you're aligned with the vision and with the mission, get back to the person that invited you, and you're going to ask them for their unique link. When you sign up with their unique link, that makes sure that they get credit for inviting you to the system. And so I'm gonna announce two more promotions, and then I'm gonna open it up for questions. So if you have any questions, you'll have a chance to ask them here in just a moment. So let me see. Okay. All right. So we have two more promotions. The first promotion, if you come in and you bring 10 people directly into the system before August the 18th, you get a brand new GoPro. If you bring 20 directly into the system, you get a brand new iPhone. And if you bring 30 directly into the system, you get a brand new MacBook. I'm actually, like, I think a few away from qualifying for the MacBook. And so it doesn't matter. I'm not the only one that gets these prizes. Every single person that qualifies can win the prizes. Even if we have 1,000 people that qualify, does not matter. And the last promo is we're giving away some free flights and some free hotels. So if you qualify for Connector 1500, you're going to get a 3-day, 2-night stay at the hotel where we're having our very first Divinfi event. And if you hit Connector 3000, you get an all-inclusive. So that includes flight, hotel, and VIP access to the event. So same thing, doesn't matter how many people qualify, everyone has a shot at earning these prizes. And so if you want to stay connected with all things Divinfi, scan this QR code, and I would follow us on Telegram, on Facebook, on YouTube, Instagram. Those are all probably the main ones that you want to follow. And so I want to thank you all for being here, for giving me your undivided attention. And what I'll do is I'll open it up for any questions that you might have so you can have the info to make an informed decision. Leela, you're new. I don't recognize your name. Do you have any questions? Or Diane? Any questions, anyone? Speak your mind or forever hold your peace. All right. Well, I appreciate you for being here. And if you're on Facebook or Instagram or LinkedIn or any of the platforms, just make sure to drop your question or message the person that you're watching the stream on. And we'll see you on the other side. We do these every single day, twice a day. The next one will be at 9 a.m. Philippines time, which is 5 a.m. Dubai time, which is I live in 4 different time zones. I think that's 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern. Yes. And we'll announce it. If you're already part of the system, make sure to invite people. This is obviously a really great place for you to get Diane. I will go back to the person that invited me here. Thank you. You're very welcome, Diane. Looking forward to having you on the team. And yeah, like this is obviously it's great for you to be here and be around the fire, but the whole point is to invite other people to share the info. And like I say, this is literally the best system ever. And what happens when you go through Don's process and you use Apollo, I mean, it's unbelievable, right? It's almost like I know some of you guys are like, this is probably too good to be true, but I know firsthand, and a lot of our leaders here know firsthand how powerful this is. And it is literally selfish not to share it. But obviously, first, you need to experience it for yourself. But it is literally selfish not to share it because it's selfish because you're scared. And it's okay. It's okay if you're scared. You know, fear, it's an acronym and it says false evidence appearing real. One thing I'll tell you that really helped me with Don's process is fear became obsolete, right? I know Tui, he was telling me in the past when he did his other companies, you know, he was sharing with me how he was operating, he was a little bit scared and worried, all this stuff. Now you just see this guy, he's like the most jolly person ever. He's just literally just sharing from the heart. And that's why he's having so much success because he has overcome that fear and he realizes that it's just an illusion. It is just an illusion. And the only thing and the only person that's stopping you is your own paradigm. It is your own self-limiting beliefs. And so that's why I really stress Don's process. It's going to help you break free of these shackles that are really just illusions. And then you can now operate as your infinite self and start to share this amazing ecosystem with the world. And so I'm super honored to be here with you guys, you beautiful souls. Let's continue to spread the good word and let's take it to the moon and beyond, as Tui says.
Thanks, brother. And congratulations again.
Oh yeah, bro. Thank you so much. It's honestly like to me, it's whatever. Like I get more excitement from you guys and seeing everyone else rank up. To me, it's just it's really just representation of the the team itself. Like I just represent the team. So I appreciate it, bro.
Thank you, brother.
All right, thanks guys. You guys have a wonderful night or day or afternoon. We'll see you in 13 hours or so. Or yeah, I think so. All right. Love you guys.